Scully. Now, Paul, you are backing Liz Truss in this contest. Are you concerned about the line that Rishi Sunak's campaign is now taking, that if you think that 0.5% interest rate rises are bad, and it will be painful for many people, potentially under Liz Truss, those interest rates could rise to 4, 5, 6, even 7% is the line being put out by Rishi Sunak. Is that a concern?
Yeah, it's not a concern because I think we've got to be realistic about what we are trying to achieve here. We're looking at inflation and driven by the cost of energy, oil and gas supplies primarily, and we can get carried away with a lot of rhetoric. And you heard Michael Fabricant talking about some of that in your earlier guest. And we've got to concentrate on what is here, what Liz is wanting to do. It's timely, targeted approaches to supporting people through the energy crisis, about the pausing green levies, pausing VAT. But on top of that, we do need to grow the economy, and you can't tax your way through to growth. You've got to actually have, again, targeted tax rates, so cutting corporation, keeping corporation down to where it is now, so you're encouraging investment, but also tackling taxes that just act as a barrier, a cost to business, things like business rates and other taxes.
Are you concerned at all that Liz Truss, who had cast herself as this stalwart, almost ideological individual in this campaign, someone who will always be straight-talking and push forward a more conservative policy agenda than we've seen in previous prime ministers, are you concerned that she U-turned this week on a proposal that to many people seemed incredibly logical, that the wages of those in the public sector shouldn't be outstripping the wages of those in the private sector in various regions of this country? Does it show a weakness that she backed down on that?
No, I think, look, we've seen, Rishi do about 9 new turns, I think. You've got Keir Starmer, basically the guy that we're aiming at, the opposition, who's backtracked on all 10 of his commitments that he came forward with when he stood for leader of the opposition. So what Liz did with looking at the regional pay boards and the like, there is a logic behind it, as you rightly say. She was always intending it to be about new civil servants coming onto the payroll, not looking at the cuts that other people have been speculating about, but rather than keep that focus on there and have that argument, she wants to keep laser focused on waste in government and on her bold and ambitious plans for the economy. And so that's why she said, look, we're not going to go down that route of regional pay boards. And I think that's the sensible sort of leadership quality that we need to see.
See, I think no one has any doubt that Liz Truss is someone who has bold ideas, that is someone who has been fighting on the more free market wing of the party within Cabinet for a long time, that she's opposed within Cabinet a lot of these tax rises. The question is, it's all very easy to have these bold ideas in an ethereal sense. When you get into the practicalities of government and you see the opposition not just on the Labour benches of Parliament, but as we saw this week on Twitter to her proposed pay board policy, a lot of the media really attacking it, a lot of the trade unions really attacking it, does this show that with other policy, when she faces the heat, there's a potential that other policies as well may slip away?
No, I mean, look, this is the important thing about this entire period, this entire contest, is to test the next prime minister. The person who wins this contest is going to be the next prime minister of this country. And it's right that they get those tests. But if you look at what Liz has done, she was the chief secretary to the Treasury. She's had enormous experience through cabinet. She's backed by the current chancellor. She's backed by the previous chancellor before Rishi as well, who have had time, or in Nadine Zahawi's case, not being captured there by to get away from that Treasury orthodoxy. And that's why she can have these bold, ambitious plans for the economy, but based on her experience as Chief Secretary to the Treasury and her wider cabinet experience.